be done using AI. However, to help improve in a peer review, this is similar to the article. The respondents were a little bit more generous towards the use of AI. So um, there's still quite a few people that thought it was not appropriate, but more people thought it was okay to use AI to sort of have a additional review of maybe the statistics that are covered in a paper. So this is a snapshot in time, and I'm sure as we, kind of move forward with this technology, these things will change. But right now, it appears that peer review and AI are not good combinations, and my own organization very much discourages the use of AI tools for peer reviewers for the concerns that are sort of highlighted on this slide. And what I was personally very pleased to see that when people were asked whether they are using AI in peer review, only a very small number of people are actually saying they're using AI tools to do peer review. So most people still use do peer review by traditional means, reviewing the paper themselves and writing up the review report. Okay, so we've come on to the last section of my presentation, and this is some of this is a little bit dry and technical, and it's really not my area of expertise. So I hope I can do this justice. But this is about intellectual property or copyright. So how does the fact that the large language models and generative AI really rely on the content that has been created by humans all over the world to improve their applicability. The key issues in this area are AI generated content. Can it be is there a copyright consideration for that? And the other one is, can you use copyrighted materials in training models? The answers here are evolving and varied, but right now the perceived view is that only human beings can carry copyright. Anything that a machine generates cannot be copyrighted. But if a human uses AI generated elements to improve their own work, that can be part of the copyright that person has in the content or in the product that is covered by the copyright. And there was a consultation in the UK on the application of AI more generally, and the group that looked at this particularly looked at computer generated works and came to these conclusions. There's also legal and ethical challenges around AI, and that is particularly around what is now known as the widespread scraping of content from the internet to feed into large language models. You may have read in the press not that long ago that big AI companies have, without checking with authors, ingested large swathes of books, novels, textbooks, scholarly works, fictional works into their systems, and authors have challenged this in court, and there is a large number of lawsuits going on at the moment looking at the potential copyright infringements. There isn't really a clear sense of where we will end up here. It's all being very it's a very nuanced and very difficult area to call, because material is available online, and what you can do with it and how you can use it, especially when it benefits a company commercially, is not straightforward to answer. So we await the outcome of some of these lawsuits. In the area of science, there is also a potential impact of the ingestion of content into generative AI models without attribution, that it could impact what I call the reputational economy here. Scientists, researchers make their name and build their success on the fact that people know that they have generated and researched and published certain outcomes in certain findings. So they want other people to use that work, but they want to get the attribution for that. That is not really possible easily. There are ways to do that in large language models, but it's not easily, and that is causing some concern. And if you think back at the two researchers that appeared on our video, they highlighted that as a concern, that their work would be fed into a model and then nobody would be able to connect their contribution to them. So that's again another area that requires a lot of debate and is unsolved at the moment. As publishers, we really kind of see ourselves as playing a role here in helping to enforce those guardrails. So we think that including scholarly content in AI models is generally a good thing because it enhances the reliability, the accuracy, the application of those. But it has to happen in a fair and transparent way. And our preferred road to getting there is to license the content. So there is some sort of control, some sort of trail, some sort of audit there, where we can say, okay, these items of content have fed into this uh, tool, and we can control what is happening with that. So that's what we're working towards, but we are not there yet. So I'm on my last slide already. So in conclusion, what is my view on AI and its impact on scholarly publishing? I mean, it is changing our world, of course. The pace and the extent of how those changes are impacting is not clear right now. We see rapid development one day, and then something happens, and people become a little bit more concerned about it. So it's not a linear route. But as scholarly publishers, I see us as having a real role in advocating for the responsible use of AI, which is absolutely possible. And I'm just gonna finish with my own personal position, which is that innovation and change is part of science, is part of research, is part of publishing, and I really see opportunities here for AI to improve what we do, provided we are all adhering to certain ethical and legal standards. And as I said, I have a short list of sort of further reading reports and surveys I have used to prepare this presentation. So as a follow-up, I think you probably can get hold of the slides. So you're very welcome to read a little bit more. And with that, I still shall stop sharing and ask if there are any questions.
Questions. Well, first of all, we want to thank you for your dexterity in getting the presentation done again. Michael says that he checks the people when they register, so and when they log in. So we don't know what has happened,
No,
but
somebody took over somehow because I couldn't do
yeah,
it. I couldn't do anything
and you couldn't do
anymore.
anything. But we will we will have two presentations. He'll edit the first one, and we'll be able to distribute them, and all the slides will be made accessible so that technically we can get everyone who didn't come back up to date. Plus, I have to tell you that we had this happens all the time. We had over 700 people register.
Wow.
And we will get the two recording to them and the presentation. Often people don't have a good connection or a conflict at work, and that's their way of getting the information. So we appreciate your, what's the word to use, dexterity and Michael's help. And I've never had that happen before,
Me
nor
neither.
Michael. Okay. So we'll move along from that. Do we have any questions, any comments? Listening to you, it's like you seem to have some ideas of where you're going as a publisher, and then there's still all these gray areas which will have to be sorted out over time.
Mm, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have anyone that has the only questions we have so far are excellent presentation. However, could you throw more light on how researchers can ensure ethical and responsible use of AI?
Yeah, I mean, that really depends to a certain degree of what the area of research is. So different communities will have different approaches to that. I shared these guidelines from an area of medical research. I mean, because in medical research, a lot of the data and a lot of uh, the information that the researchers use relates to human. So they have a different view than, for example, in my own area of physics, where people tend to deal with big data sets. So I think what ethical use of AI really means is that it needs to be checked, it needs to be transparent to the reader. So if you have used AI in research and you write up a book or an article, it should be clear so people can make their own mind and ideally use tools that are not um, very broad and very open to the public, because the quality of the content that is ingested is really important to the output. So tools that look at curated content are much better than tools that look at just everything that's on the internet.
We have a great question here. Most of the research results being fed into AI models come from parts of the world where research output is high. How
Mhm.
are the LMICs in areas where research output is low represented? How are they going to use them?
So that is to do with feeding research into LLMs? I'm going to take that as a question. Um, I think, I mean, that's a really fantastic question and much bigger than AI, because I think the underrepresentation of researchers from low and middle income countries is a bigger problem than just AI. So I would say that to make sure that research is represented responsibly and adequately, try and publish through reputable publishing houses. So publishing houses like mine, we will look after the content we publish and make sure that the people who want to use it know what our requirements are for us. And we will, when we get approached by technology companies that want to use content, they are interested in all content from, kind of from all regions, all subject areas, all types of journals. So they're not particularly selective, because this is how these language models work. They want to know that the quality of the content is good, which is what they get from us because we peer reviewed it, but then they want to get as much and as broad as possible. So I think there is an opportunity for authors from less represented regions to really play a part here, but you probably need to work through your publisher for that.
Yeah, my question was going to be about dealing with predatory publishers, but we'll wait because there seemed to be a nice list of questions popping up
Mm.
here. When we use AI, our data still I'm sorry, and we don't make our data like a plagiarism since it will be stoked in the AI tool. I'm not sure I understand that one exactly.
I think, I mean, if private means private, then maybe this is about data, how you
Private.
protect. Yeah. I mean, this is a very similar question to the one I've given before. That is a concern for us, that even though something is maybe published either under a open access license or behind a paywall, that there is some good evidence that some less responsible technology companies are using data that is protected by privacy laws or by copyright, and that is what a lot of the court cases that are going through the courts at the moment are
Mhm.
dealing with. You know, basically stopping technology companies,
Okay,
ignoring privacy. Yeah.
you have a number of thank yous, and this is an
Mhm.
excellent presentation. But we have a couple more questions, if you don't mind. We still have time. How much percentage can one use AI in article or monograph? And related to that is, but can we use AI tools to write part of our article?
So you can use AI tools to enhance your article, absolutely. How much and what is appropriate, that's really very specific. So if you have used AI, or if you're um, planning to write an article and using AI, speak to an editor of a journal or a publisher. They will be able to guide you. generally, it's absolutely fine to use AI to improve what you've written. So to, kind of check it for errors, grammar. It's absolutely possible fine to use AI to, kind of check your reference list. Creating original text and original prose, that's where it becomes a little bit more difficult to say how much is possible or not. That really depends, I think, on the type of article and the type of publication. And but editors and publishers from good publishers and good journals will be able to give you advice. But what I would strongly advise against is to just use AI and not tell them, because disclosure is absolutely important here, and that's what publishers are asking for, and that is their policy.
So in a sense, the ethics that you would recommend for anybody submitting a journal to you as a publisher carry over to this new tool.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah,
Okay.
that's right. Yeah.
Oh, we have a couple more. They keep popping up. PhD student from Cape Town, JFK here. Do you publish any economic or poverty alleviation related articles in your journals?
We don't. We're a physics publisher, but I used to work before I came to IOP Publishing. I used to work for Wiley, and they have a very comprehensive economics journals list. So I would recommend JFK that you look on the Wiley website and look at journals that publish in the area you're active. They have a very nice economics journals list, but we don't publish economics.
Okay, and then thank you. A bunch of looks like clapping hands. Thank you for the nice presentation and raising timely and very important subject. Hope to have the article attached to our email. I'm thinking that's the publication,
Yeah.
and it'll take Michael a couple days, especially because he has some editing to do. But we
Mhm.
will distribute this to people who logged in once, people who logged in twice, and we had over 80 at one point, and also all the people who could not attend the live presentation. Uh, any other comments? Appreciate your dexterity, as I said, and
Thank you. It's a first for everything, right?
that's right. That's a story. That
Yeah.
is a story for sure. Uh, I think that's it for now. We're right about at almost an hour, and I know you'll have plenty of other work to do, and you appreciate you finding a slot to
Denny,
do
I
this.
think there's one more question there.
Oh,
Oh, there is.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for a nice presentation, raising timely, important subject. No, I don't see.
So
Michael,
maybe
you
let
go
me
ahead
read
and
that
read
one.
it.
Yeah, from Maria. She's
how can
asking, how can
librarians support editors, publishers in the ethical use of AI in research and the use of the material
Yeah,
yes.
published? I, I, I
there it
mean,
is.
yeah, I think that's a really I love that question, because I think that's really important that as librarian that the librarians understand what the policies are. So look at the policies that I've highlighted, COPE and STM for policies that there is a lot of information about the responsible use of AI in research and research practice. There will be other sources of information on the internet. There are just two. So I think just make sure that you in your library, in your institution, you have provide at least sort of some basic information about what is acceptable and how responsible use of AI is interpreted.
Okay, and that may be, there should be links in the bibliography you had to some of these.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so look at the bibliography. We have another question. We're not quite done yet. Coding my data using AI and revising my research text. What do I have to do to take into equation?
So for if you're asking about publication, you have to disclose that. So when you submit your manuscript, detail how you've used AI to analyze your data and your research text. And if either the peer reviewer or the editor has a question, they will ask you specifically about that. But that's what you have to do. You just have to explain how you've used AI.
Okay, and then thanks. help sending the recording. I have been on and off. So we're aware, Isaac, that that is a problem with internet access. So we will distribute the recordings and the presentation.
Great.
Okay. And appreciate all the people that logged in again. We had at least 3/4 of the people came back. So, okay, Michael, you have anything from your end other than a little homework to do to get this all organized?
No, nothing from my end, Lenny. Thanks a lot, and thanks,
Okay.
Miriam, for the presentation.
Miriam, we appreciate your time, and
thank you so much
don't
for
seem-
inviting me. I enjoyed
yeah,
it. Thanks for the great questions. They're really good questions.
questions were great.
Yeah.
But I heard you at GPM, and I said, we've got to get this person to make do a webinar for us, and it will be sent out to many more people. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye for
Bye-bye,
now.
everybody.
Bye and thanks.